What's going on, Buff Nation? All right. Listen, told you to smash the like button, told you to turn the bell on. I told you things are going to be heating up. I didn't have an exact date time, but now it looks like we might have some exact dates and time. Today, it appears it's going to be buck nasty. It's going to be buck wild in so many ways. Commits, drama, possible commits, and that's about all I got for you right now. But a lot to go over. CORMANI, we thought we were done with CORMANI. I lied. That was my bad. I should have known better. It's crazy. If we're going to talk about commitments, a possible who's not in the portal yet, which could make this cornerback room just absolutely dynamic, and then more commits, which we talked about. Big time visiting weekend. We expected it. There were 6 that visited. We all asked, is there going to be 5? Is there going to be 6? Somebody noticed there were 6 question marks on the jersey. It's going to be a fun one. Before we do any of that, though, you guys already know. You're already playing it in your head.
I flushed my kids down in the club.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Again, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. First up, Dayon Hayes, edge rusher out of Pitt. You know what's interesting? I took a look at the PFF because you don't need to tell me that this is how great of a pickup this is. This is what's great about it. Number one, you're going to have the haters flowing, so go ahead and inject them now in the comment section. Perfect. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on. We know who left, okay? We know who left wasn't a starter, but the depth was in question. Now you're bringing somebody in who's better than everybody that you have thus far, okay? On top of now you have more depth. Because remember we talked about Samson Okunlola, the other edge for Pitt. He was their second best edge, Samson Okunlola was. And when we talked about Samson Okunlola with a 70.99 PFF score last time, we were jazzed up on the show. We talked about it. But don't let me tell you about how great this guy is. This is their first-rated edge rusher. Poor Pitt. I don't know what's going to happen to Pitt, but poor Pitt. 78.5 on the overall defensive scale. 109th ranked in the country for edge rusher. Okay? Absolute stud. 6'3", 265, senior. This is his year, obviously, coming out to make his draft stock as valuable as possible. The duo coming off the edge, back at it again, bringing what they had at Pitt. Pitt wasn't much last year, but defensively, a lot of people have been poaching that defense, whether it was the defensive line coach, whether it was a defensive coordinator, whether it was, there's a lot of trying to poaching going on out in Pittsburgh. They had some good pieces, just not the full circle happening, and now they're starting to get plucked apart here as Mr. Dayon Hayes has headed over to Pitt, which, again, when we were speaking just yesterday, I think it was, this was one of my top ones. I was like, this was an absolute lock. I said it. And for it being the first one makes sense. This one had 0 question marks in my head. I was like, he's not taking a trip all the way to Colorado to see his boy Samuel Okunlola and say, hey, what's going on? How you doing? No, that was never the case. He was flying across the country to sign some paperwork. As Coach Prime said, we already got our guys signed, and by golly, they do. Okay? Now we're not done. We had some insight, we had some potential, but now we've got dates and times, which we'll get into a moment here. But here's the next big one here. Great name, by the way. Kobe Bryant spelled with a C, but it is what it is. I love it. Fires me up. Has not entered into the portal. Cornerback out of Kansas, but there's a lot of noise here. A lot of noise from multiple people. This one doesn't have I'm not going to put a lot of credit into this, a lot of energy into it, but couple of sources have been putting out there, so I was like, you know what, might as well at least look into it. Let's talk about it, because what this would do to the cornerback room, Travis Hunter, Kobe, Preston Hodge. My goodness. I mean, that's just the 3. We know what else is there, right? That's absolutely insane. An 88.8 defensive grade, a 77.4 overall grade. Let me go ahead and pull his PFF score up for you guys so you can see that there. 6 foot 175 junior. He's eligible to go to the draft next year, so he could stay technically if he really wanted to. 148th ranked cornerback in the country. He was sized up next to Mello Dotson. I don't know. Again, seems to be a trend here. They get one side of it. Could they pull the other side from that team? They did it with Pittsburgh. Can they do it with KU? I don't know. Now you're saying, well, Sean, that's tampering. I know it is. Coach Prime hasn't been shy about it, so it's not like I'm over here into any, or trying to put anything out there that hasn't been said or spoken about. All right. So if there is tampering going on, I believe it. Coach Prime said we got cornerbacks, we got linebackers. What do you want? We got them coming. They're already signed. This is a name that's been being tossed around. Again, how much weight, how much value is actually there? That part we don't know yet. Obviously, we know with the cornerbacks that have left, one being CORMANI McClain. This cornerback room has always been very thick and very healthy. The wide receiver room, stacked to Colorado. Quarterback room, stacked. Cornerback room, it's healthy. this would just make it elite. This would make it one of the best in the country. The D-line starting to look legitimate. Offensive line, we don't know yet because there's a lot of pieces coming together. But anywho, big day here. Now, why do I keep saying big day? Why do I keep saying like more to come here? Well, this is where we're getting at here. Okay, we got Coach out here tweeting. We got big news coming out of Buffalo. All right, he gave us time slots: 3 Mountain Time, 4 Central Time, 5 Eastern Time. That's in 3 hours. A little less than 3 hours. Some big news is going to come out. So what does that tell you? Turn the damn bell on, because in 5 o'clock, we're going to be here ready to rock and roll, whatever happens. All right, that's what that's telling you. There's another one happening at 7 o'clock. The first one already happened at 1 o'clock. I'm assuming that was the Dayon Hayes news. And I think he tweeted out a few more times on some dates. It just kind of kept coming out one after the other. So it's hard for me to keep up, to be perfectly honest with you, on all that was flowing out. But we know the next big one is at 5, then 7, and I think that might be it for today. For today, from what we've gotten from Coach here. Again, this could be more, but he's being straight up now. It's not even question marks. It's not even eyes. It's just, here's the time that the things are going to drop. Wait and see. So who's next? Who's next to fall in line here? Looks like we have 2 more that are going to happen today. So we're going to be having a good time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. We're going to see what's coming in, what they're bringing in, the PFF score. Talk about, just like we did with these 2 guys here, talk all about it. But it can't just ever be a day. You know, we just can't have a nice normalcy of let's get it rock and roll. Because I saw some Buffs comments, so like, when is it going to stop? When the guys were leaving, it just felt like, you know what, this is weighing heavy on my heart here. Or I'm sick of hearing about it. You know, and I feel that. Felt like we were moving through some good stuff here today. But, and this isn't negative, I've got to watch it. But CORMANI made his video. He dropped his YouTube video on why he left. A quick little quote. I haven't watched the full thing. Says he doesn't want to play. He wants to play for a real program. That's a shot across the bow. His grades are good, and he doesn't want to play for clicks. Heard that before. Is that a call to Oregon? Is that an insight that I'm going to Oregon? I don't know. Remember play for clicks, Dane Lanning? You remember. Interesting. Quick off the dome, off the top here. You're making a YouTube video about why you left. It seems very clickable to me. But that's me. Look, I understand it. Outside looking in, I haven't watched the video yet. This is a raw reaction. I get these kids making videos because, look, most of the time it's a lot of the coach gets to say something because they have pressers, they have interviews, people have their own thoughts and opinions about it. So most of the time the kids almost kind of get a bad look on how coming out of these situations. So I don't mind them defending themselves. There's a way to go about it, absolutely, and I don't know exactly. Reading this quickly, seems like there's shots. If there's ever an opportunity, you don't want to necessarily burn the bridge that you left, right? That's just kind of how you handle it, but everyone has their own way of doing things. So again, I don't know exactly what was said just yet. That's going to be its own separate video. It has to be. It has to be. I definitely want to watch it and get some takeaways from it. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe that's the only line that really has any value to it. Some of these things are kind of just like, hey, you know, this is what happened. I want to look for this. So here's what I'm looking for. We'll see where he goes. But all in all, good start to the day. Looks like we're having a good finish to the day. So you know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Let me know in the comments. Who do you think is next? Give me your quick initial thoughts, too, on the CORMANI thing, if you've seen it or if you haven't seen it. Would love to know your thoughts on that. Is Kobe Bryant coming to Boulder? Huh? Kobe! Do you imagine? Kobe, Travis Hunter. What a duo. Quarterback room. I don't know. See you guys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.